trying to see who's gonna jump on and tune on to my live, where we can just send out some love and talk a little print talk. But yes, this is F.O.M DTF. My name is AL, and welcome to the channel. And this is what we're doing right now. We're chilling, trying to see who's gonna jump on and you know, see what we got goes on here on this days. What's good with the peoples? Anybody taking a lunch break, working, or at home, getting the prints ready? I want to know what people got goes on. So yep, we've been having a lot of transfers going in and out. The business was slow for a minute. We was getting periodically prints here and there, and what's not. But it picked back up. Manufacturing and everything is going pretty good. So yeah, so we here talking, and we're still gonna talk about these printers and things and whatnot. So to get you people speedballed up. That's what we have goes on. So got a couple of images here I probably can show people. So yeah, see what it is. What we got. What we got here. I jumped on at the wrong time. I know people probably at work. Said, man, we chilling. We trying to get it together. But let's see what goes on. Welcome to the channel, everybody. We've been dropping content consistent lately. Well, not consistent, but we've been doing all right. It's been picking up the volume. Yep. So see what we got. What people tuned on to, what we got. Everybody's businesses been affected by this. I don't know if it's a economy or something that's going on, something that's wrong, but a lot of businesses I've noticed is, I've been talking to people, different companies and different business owners, and they saying their business has been kind of up and down with the DTF printing. And, it's a lot of different, things that's going on in the corporate America world. And I spoke about on other videos how some of these companies just offered silk screening or just offered direct to garment and start doing DTF and silk screening, or DTF and direct to garment. DTF and silk screen. They starting to offer different type of printing methods, because you got to start evolving with time. And if you are only doing one way of printing, and you say, hey, when they call you up, I don't do DTF, I only do silk screening, or I only do direct to garment, and you start picking up the phone and say, no, you're going to say, hey, maybe we need to start doing this and doing that. So it's a good thing for people who are doing sublimation DTF or sublimation DTF and direct to garment. It's good because your customers will start seeing a vibrancy, a difference between the products that you use, and say, hey, I just want DTF from now on. I like sublimation for this, so I like DTF for that. Because some customers, they have multiple, customers who like different type of ways of printing, or they transitioning from one way of printing to another way of printing. So you'd be like, hey, I don't want to do sublimation no more, or I don't want to do direct to garment no more. I want something that's a little more vibrant. But some people say, hey, they want to move on to neon colors, because they want to get that super vibrant color. So it's all different type of ways of, of printing. But what you're trying to get into and what you're trying to do, that's what matters. And you want to make sure that you have the right equipment, and you don't want to have something that's not going to last as long. Or you can go through the trial and error phase as well and say, hey, tried this product, it's not what I want. Tried that product, it's better. Now this is awesome. This one is way better. So you got to go through your trial and error phases when you start to print, start to see what products is good, what products people recommending. But my main thing is this: the printers as well plays a big part of this, and you have to know exactly if you're dealing with commercial size printing, or if you're going to be dealing with the moms and pops around the neighborhood printing. So that's going to determine what type of printer that you're going to need, and what type of information that you receive within that time. It's going to determine how much money you're going to be spending to get to that final end goal. And that final end goal can cost you thousands of dollars, or thousands of dollars, between 5,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 or 4,000. So all this information that you gotta consume when you're starting a print business, or you're just trying to get into it as to see if it's something that you want to do, this is when the money starts to come up. Hey, I just want to jump into it, but I really don't want to get into it that much. So let me see what printer I can get that I can print with. It's going to be able to do a now and then type of prints. There is no printers that can do now and then prints, especially when you're converting these printers over from desktop printers to DTF printers. A lot of these printers, like the ET2850, but yeah, ET2850 for instance, the small white desktop printer, the Epson printer, that's a good printer if you're doing sublimation, but it's not a good printer to convert over to DTF because you have to agitate the white inks. And if you can't grab the whole printer with the CYMK colors and your whites and shake the whole printer, it's not what's going to happen. And then it's going to have a lot of banding issues because that printer is not made for that. What they normally do is put a bulk ink system or a CSII system on the side of it, and they have it on the side so they can have an ink stir for the stir the whites, and you don't have to worry about touching the inks at all because the colors is not meant to be shook. It's only the whites that separates that need to be agitated for they can have, you know, back to what they're supposed to be, the original properties. They separates between. That's why you get clear sometimes or banding in the prints or the white don't come out. It's a lot. It's technical. It's another topic. But when you deal with the large format printers and you have cartridges, that's a better way to start off the print because you have individual cartridges. So you have the colors, you have the whites. You can take the whites, agitate them, turn them upside down, shake them, however you're going to do, put them back in, and leave the colors alone. But when you get these desktop printers, the A3, A4 printers, they're not made for DTF because they don't have individual cartridges. Not saying you can't make them into DTF, but what I'm saying is you're going to have a lot of issues within the printing when it comes to maintenance and then trying to get the printer up and ready for you to start your DTF printing for the day. It's going to be variables in that. And when you start doing a lot of these head cleanings and power cleanings, if the state of the print head does not change, if it's still in the same state, then that means it's not going to change. It's going to add more wear and tear to the printer, to the print head, and it's going to actually throw a code. So if you guys are having these problems when you're dealing with the DTF printing, if you're new to DTF and trying to figure out what printer that you need and you didn't do that much research, or you looked at a channel and seen that this printer was printing and it printed perfectly fine, I don't know what questions to ask or what questions that was answered between how long this printer is going to print, or what type of maintenance to this printer, or how do I supposed to actually agitate my inks, or it's a lot of different variables in these questions that a lot of these YouTubers don't, answer. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I just know from trial and error, dealing with them printers, and they all have one particular ink system, and you just go ahead and pour them side by side until you get it filled up. The agitation of the ink is going to become a problem down the line for you guys when you start trying to shake or properly get the printer up and running and be consistent with it, and from day in to day out, from week to week, to month. These printers have small print heads, and the ink that passes through these print heads maybe be too thick for the printer. Maybe you didn't know that you're supposed to get desktop ink, or maybe a company say this ink is for desktop and for wide format. It's a lot of different variables that go in between that when you're cutting through to see what's good for you. And I went through the trial and errors as well. I went through that. So when I was going through the L1800 printers, or the, I'm gonna say A3 printers, or the Asian version of the L1800 printers, those are good printers because the ink systems are bulk and they're outside the system, and you have the ink stir. But if you have the American version, which is the black one, it don't have the ink stir. It just has that same type of setup, but it does not have ink circulation. So you have to still shake it and still get little banding issues. But if you shake the ink and then you let it settle for a minute and then start the print, you'll be good. But if you just shake the inks and just start printing right off the back without doing a nozzle check or anything to see what state the print head is in, then you're going to have a lot of problems down the line because you're not checking and try to see, hey, how can I fix this before I start printing? Because a lot of these A3 printers, a lot of people don't do nozzle checks on these printers. They probably just shake the inks or agitate the inks, or let the ink agitate themselves from the ink stir. And then once they do that, they go ahead and start printing. And they don't ever know what state the print head is in. Only how they find out is when it gets further on in a worse state and start to get further and further in a worse state. It starts showing in the prints. That's when they actually look at the, hey, this banding, this is printer. I don't know what issues, but check the nozzle check before you do any large amount of printing, like gang sheets, or doing like say 5 or 8 or 9 different sheets of 12 by 10s or 12 by 15s. You want to do some type of nozzle check in between that to see if everything is going to be running accordingly. If not, you want to stop, do a normal clean, or do a power clean if the normal clean didn't work and the power clean did work. Then you can go back to printing again. You don't want to print consistently for like no hour or two, or 45 or 50 minutes up to an hour, and don't do any nozzle checks, because that right there can start building up within the problems. That's just what I learned from me experiencing different environments or weather changes in the prints, the quality, and the ink dry or the ink wet, running. It's a lot of different variables that you're going to be experiencing. Or if you don't keep your ink cabin doors open, so you're not watching the ink consumption. If it's too low, it'll knock one of your channels out, and you're like, what happened to that channel? You do a power clean, the channel comes back, and then it goes back out again, and you still can't figure it out. But you figured, you didn't ever say, hey, let me check my ink levels and see if my cartridges are matching what the ink say at the top on the screen right here. Because sometimes that can change, especially if you printing. It ain't worried about checking your engines and see how far along the ink is coming for printing for, a nice period of time. I'm not just talking about a day, like 2 days, 3 days, because the ink lasts a while. Sometimes it'll lose your thought. If you agitate it in the morning, it look like it's halfway full, but then again, you go do 5, 6 long gang sheets, and the ink drops down more, and then next thing you know, you start seeing banding, and you don't know what to do. You start running a nozzle check, and you see the problem, like, oh man, I shouldn't have printed so long. I should have checked in between these prints. That's what I learned, to keep the printer running smooth and optimum print as it can. How do we say that shit? Keep it running in optimum condition. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, so it's variables. A lot of people are going to find out they have to become some type of a small technician between the time. And not only that, they have to find out they're going to become some type of print expert. They're going to become a print expert. Trust me, you guys going to see a lot. It's more than just cutting it on, agitating the inks, and letting it just print out. So I tell people this. I say that to say this. It's trial and error. But get the best information you possibly can get, because you're running around with your pocketbook open. But I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm going to jump off because I got to head downtown LA. We're going to create some more content for today. And you guys have a nice day. And just keep y'all printing skills, intact, and make sure that you're teachable. Because I'm reachable, guys. You want to reach me, come to the website, FOMDTF.com. And if you have any questions, we have a promotion that's going on too with these printers. We're going for $3,000. Anywhere in the States, ink, powder, film, software. We're giving everything away for a nice, decent price to help you guys get into y'all printing, get y'all printing skills, out to the world, let people know what you're capable of doing. So it's also go join the raffle or the giveaway. I keep saying raffle, but join the giveaway. We're giving away a lot of different, DTF products, from the powder to film, to ink, to software, to the ICC profiles, to the heat presses, until game sheets. And we're giving away a lot of different stuff. So you guys can tune in and go ahead and have a chance of winning these products. And say if you can't afford one of these printers, maybe you have a chance of winning one. If you guys tune into the channel and support the channel as well, because when the channel reaches 1,000, I'm not going to just give a printer away. People got to be actually tuned in, conversing with me back and forth, letting me know that they are actual supporter, and that's when everything is going to happen for you guys. Until then, there's more content about to be dropped. So this is the first one today. We live, and we'll have another one coming following up. And you guys stay tuned for more. I appreciate the ones for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and watching my journey, because we going ahead and we building, we bossing up. Y'all see the growth, y'all see the change, y'all see we becoming. Y'all see that. So I thank you guys for watching. Until another one, we out. Peace.